Hi, this is a video tour for how to teach the 5-paragraph essay. Now you're going to see a little explanation for two other books. One is how to teach the paragraph, and the other is how to teach the research report. And the reason why you're going to see a little bit about these two other books is because all three books are connected. The way it works is with the first book, How to Teach the Paragraph, you're going to learn to show your students one simple trick that's going to get them writing paragraphs for the rest of their lives. And these paragraphs are going to be strong, powerful, and well organized. And once you use that trick and get your students writing strong, powerful paragraphs, it will literally take minutes to show them how to teach the 5-paragraph essay. Now, the good news, since you're watching How to Teach the 5-paragraph essay, that if you get How to Teach the 5-paragraph essay, you get How to Teach the Paragraph for free. So you're getting that trick here. And How to Teach the 5-paragraph essay does describe the trick a little bit by itself. But if you really want to take a deep dive, you'll have How to Teach the Paragraph as well to really help your students get that paragraph locked down. Now, How to Teach the research report, once your students can write strong paragraphs and essays, then it literally takes a day to show them how to write a research report, because the foundation has already been taught with the other two books. But since we're focusing on How to Teach the 5-paragraph essay, if you don't want to hear anything about How to Teach the research report, you can skip ahead, because the second part of How to Teach the 5-paragraph essay, we're going to go into more detail about the specifics of this book. So we're just going to touch on the other two books, but really focus on How to Teach the paragraph and How to Teach the 5-paragraph essay. So if you're ready to get started, let's begin with How to Teach the Paragraph and show you that one simple trick that's going to get your students writing strong, powerful paragraphs and essays for the rest of their lives. Now, the heart of this writing program is the paper setup. What you're going to do is you're going to show your students a way to set up their papers so that there's nothing to memorize. They just fill in the blanks. And again, I've done this workshop dozens of times, and there's always somebody that says, that's not a trick, that's just pre-writing. Well, this trick goes way beyond just a basic pre-write, and I'm about to show you how. So the trick begins when the teacher says the magic words. And the magic words are, you're about to write and then you fill in the blank. So you could say, you're about to write a paragraph, or you're about to write an essay, or you're about to write a research report. Now, when you say the magic words, it triggers action within the students. What they're going to do is that they're going to immediately take out a blank piece of paper and they're going to start setting it up. So in this case, we're going to say, you're about to write a paragraph, and they're automatically going to set up their paper for a paragraph. You can see on this sample here that they start with their name and their date. They put pre-write in the center. They put one main idea with a 1 underneath, and then they list A through E, and it starts resembling an outline that they may do when they're taking notes. And that's it. That's all they do. After we've practiced it a few times, I'll actually time them. I'll say the magic words, you're about to write a paragraph, and I'll give them 60 seconds to see how many of the students can set up their paper within 60 seconds, and all of them can do it. At the end, I give the speech again. That's it. That's the trick. If you can do that, I'm going to show you how to go from a paragraph to essays to research reports to books. Do you see how easy this could be? And the students are like, this is it. All I have to do is this, and I can write books. Okay, I'm in. And that's it. That's all they have to do. After I've gone over this, we'll do 5 or 6 together, and I'll make sure everything's in the right spot. Then I'll actually time them and give them 60 seconds to see if I could say the magic words. They could take out a blank piece of paper, set everything up in the right place. And once they can do that, I remind them, okay, you've done the hardest part. You're going to be able to take this paper setup and you'll know exactly what to do for paragraphs, for essays, for research reports, for books. And there's no groaning. There's no complaining. They've begun the process before they know it. It takes a lot of the sting out of every writing assignment that you give. This trick is especially good for students with special needs and reluctant writers because now they know all they need to do is fill in the blanks. And you can see the top blank here above the word pre-write. This blank space is going to remind them to put the title. You say the magic words, they set up their paper, and now they're sitting waiting for the title, that top blank space above the word pre-write. So they put the title, and now they're looking for the blank space number 1. So next to number 1, they know, okay, there's the title. Now I need to think of one main idea, one specific main idea about that. They're going to start collecting details about that topic. And when they see one specific main idea about that topic, they know, oh, I have enough to write a paragraph about that. So they write either a phrase or a sentence that explains what is the one main idea that I could write several sentences about. And now you see the A through E. The students are going to see the blank space, A through E, and they go, oh, I know, I need to add 5 specific details about that one specific main idea. And any detail that's not on that one specific main idea, they're not going to put in there. So now they've got the topic, they've got one main idea, they've got supporting details, and now writing the paragraph's the easy part because the hard work's over. And in the books, How to Teach the Paragraph and How to Teach the 5-Paragraph Essay, it gives you plenty of examples on how to walk the students through several different topics. After you've done 5 or 6, the students really have it burned in, and now you start getting them to do it on their own without much help from you. So hopefully just with that, you can see how powerful this trick is to get them to write well-organized paragraphs. Well, it gets even better because once the students can write a solid, well-organized paragraph using this trick, and it won't take long, you can literally, in 1 minute, teach the students how to write a 5-paragraph essay using the same trick. The students already know that for a paragraph, the paper setup shows them to put one main idea. Well, for the 5-paragraph essay, all you do is instead of putting one main idea, you put 3 main ideas, and then you put a 1, 2, 3 below 3 main ideas. That's the only change besides down below, instead of a 1 and an A, B, C, D, E just for a paragraph, they're going to have a 1 A, B, C, D, E, then a 2 A, B, C, D, E, and a 3 A, B, C, D, E to get ready for the details for the 5-paragraph essay. But it's the same process. They already know the 1-paragraph essay paper setup, and it takes almost no time to show them how to transition the paper setup for a 5-paragraph essay. So if they can set up their papers for 1 paragraph, it's nothing to set up their papers for a 5-paragraph essay. And then you show them, well, it's only got 3 main ideas because 1 paragraph's going to be an introduction and another paragraph's going to be a conclusion. So you only need 3 main ideas for a 5-paragraph essay. And from there, it gets even better because you could use both paper setups for the paragraph and the 5-paragraph essay as the paper setup for a research report. And the students aren't going to get bogged down on how to write paragraphs and essays. The writing's going to be the easy part for them, so you can focus on teaching all the details that are required to teach a research report. They're not getting stuck on how to write. You can focus on searching for relevant information and how to use multiple sources to gather your skills and organize them, instead of also trying to get them to write it intelligently. That part's done. They have a system on where to put their information that's locked into their brains. So teaching the research report literally takes me a day because we've already done the steps over and over again with the paragraph and the essay. If you're ready to get started now, the links for both the paragraph and essay books are in the description. And remember, How to Teach the Paragraph ebook is free with the purchase of How to Teach the 5-Paragraph Essay. So now we're going to spend the next couple minutes taking a deeper dive into the 5-paragraph essay. Okay, the first part of this video shows you how your students can use the blank spaces on their paper setup to write their 3 body paragraphs. The rest of this video will show you how your students can still use the paper setup to write their introduction and conclusion paragraphs. You'll begin by teaching your students what I call a boring but well-organized introduction. Once again, the paper setup, will remind them exactly how to write this introduction. The pieces for the introduction are right there in front of them. They know to write a thesis statement by the title. That title will remind them, oh, I need a thesis statement. Then they see there's 3 main ideas on their pre-write. Oh, so they're going to say the 3 main ideas, and then they'll write some kind of transition sentence. And the paper setup right there shows them how to write the boring but well-organized introduction. This is perfect for younger or emerging writers or students with special needs because they can still write a really well-organized introduction. It may not be exciting, but those emerging writers can be successful right away, and they'll have a successful essay and even score really well on state and district writing tests. And from there, there's a big section in the book on how to teach what I call interesting introductions. And I challenge the more advanced students, once they've mastered the boring but well-organized introduction, start trying the interesting introductions, even if they're not good at first, because it's great practice. And eventually they'll come up with great ideas as they're pre-writing, and they'll write down notes on their pre-write. Oh, here's how I want to start my interesting introduction. And they'll have all kinds of great ideas for how to do that. And again, these interesting introductions will also have the thesis statement and the 3 main ideas, which are right there on the paper setup, reminding them, don't forget to have your thesis statement and 3 main ideas. So it's a really great section of the book. The same concept is going to apply with conclusions. You're going to teach the boring but well-organized conclusion. And then there's a section in the book that shows them how to do classy conclusions. And again, the emerging writers can have a great, well-organized introduction and a well-organized conclusion. And your advanced students can have powerful introductions and powerful conclusions. And just starting with that one simple trick, it just builds and builds and builds. The next feature I want to show you is there's a pacing chart to help you work through the book. It says day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. But depending on your class, you may need to spend a day and a half on one of these steps, or you may be able to do 2 steps in one day. It just depends on the ability level of your students. Also, after you've taught the essay a couple years, you're going to be really efficient with how you teach it. So you're going to get more done in a shorter amount of time. This pacing chart is going to show you where to start and show you how to work through every step of the program. It's all on one set of pages. And after a while, all you need is this pacing chart. And I have the pacing chart that I printed 10 years ago sitting on my desk, and it sits there every day. And when I'm ready to work on the 5-paragraph essay, I just see where we left off and I go on to the next step. So it just sits there, and really it's the only thing that you're going to need after you've taught the 5-paragraph essay a few times. From the pacing chart, you can see here there's a detailed lesson plan for each step. Before even beginning step 1, I like to start by having the students write an essay as an assessment to see how close they are to being able to write quality essays. I give them an hour and tell them whatever you think an essay should be, do it. I don't give them any other instruction other than telling them, I'm just trying to see how close you are to being able to write an essay, so show me what you got. In 6th grade, I'll have a few students that are very close to being able to write a quality essay, but most are far from ready, and many of those aren't even close to being able to write a good paragraph. So having the students write an essay assessment before starting essay instruction serves 2 purposes. First, I can see exactly who is close to being able to write a quality essay and exactly who the students are who are struggling writing essays. Second, having the students write an essay at the beginning gives me something to show them when they finish learning the essay. After the final test where the students show that they can write an essay, I give them back this assessment that they did at the beginning, and they can compare this assessment to the essay test they just passed. And they can compare this assessment to the essay test they just passed and see just how far they've come. And they can see right away just how much improvement they've really made. So back to the detailed lesson plans. If you haven't taught how to teach the paragraph, you'll start here at step 1. You're going to show your students the one simple trick for paragraph writing. This will allow you to teach the 5-paragraph essay literally in 60 seconds. The worksheet says that it will take approximately 1 week to 3 months. The 1 week is for older students, and the 3 months will be for the younger students or emerging writers. But you'll want to take your time and really get that trick locked down in the students' minds. It will make all their future writing so much easier. And obviously, if you have taught how to teach the paragraph, which is free, by the way, with the purchase of how to teach the 5-paragraph essay, you can skip the first step and go right to the second step, which is essay instruction. Then after you've taught all the steps for writing a 5-paragraph essay, you've taught the introduction, you've taught the conclusion paragraph, and they've taken their test, you've assessed them, you've given them an hour and 10 minutes to write that 5-paragraph essay. You follow it up, and there's a project in here that you can give to help every student master the 5-paragraph essay. What it's going to show you is how to get the students who have mastered the essay on that assessment and get them to work on another project with essay writing, while you work in small groups with the students who maybe they struggled with thesis statements. Maybe they struggled with a strong conclusion, or maybe they struggled with a conclusion that didn't summarize the thesis statement or have the 3 main ideas. But you can pull those students aside and work with them and clean up their 5-paragraph essays while the other students are working on a project. Finally, here's another really powerful section of how to teach the 5-paragraph essay. It's called The Next Level, where you'll show your students how easy it is to adjust their paper setup to match whatever writing assignment they're given. So they're going to be writing essays on all kinds of genres of writing. And it'll show them that it doesn't matter what the writing assignment is, the paper setup works for everything. For example, the students are asked to write a narrative. Their 3 main ideas for a narrative would be a beginning, a middle, and an end. So if they have to write a narrative essay about something, they know, okay, a narrative is telling a story. I need a beginning, I need a middle, I need an end. Now, if they're asked to write a persuasive argument, their 3 main ideas might be reason for change number 1, reason for change number 2, and they could put reason for change number 3, or they may have a main idea about refuting counter arguments to their argument. So it doesn't matter what the genre is. This section is going to show them that you can use the paper setup for anything. You just need to recognize the topic and have your 3 main ideas match whatever the topic is. And the great thing about this section is the students don't have to actually write the essays to get good practice. You can do a 15-minute activity where you give the students a genre and you give them a topic and you have them just do the paper setup, just do the pre-write for that. You can mix and match, and you can use this in all the subjects that you teach, like science and history, and you can even do it with PE. You could do it as a journal assignment. If you're going to be absent, give this as a lesson plan for as a substitute. This will be a great way for the students to get real practice while you're gone, because it's a really powerful training activity. So you could have them just do a 5-paragraph essay paper setup for it and get them practice using that paper setup with other subjects that you're doing. So you can see here, you can have them pre-write a narrative for the water cycle. And you can see, here's their 3 main ideas. Or you could have them pre-write an argumentative essay in PE about whether or not team sports build better students. This would be a great rainy day activity. If in PE, the kids have to stay inside. Well, today in PE, we're going to write. Sorry, everybody, but it'll be fun. You have them do it in groups and make a contest out of it and make it less painful that they're losing PE because of the rain. Another idea, you could have them create a cause and effect pre-write from a literature assignment about how a single choice changed the plot of a story, or a research report on a famous mathematician. Students come back years later and tell me that they still use this trick, the paper setup, to write their essays in the other subjects. And they're so grateful for learning this trick because it really does change their life. And you really are living up to your promise that if they just give you 75% effort, that you're going to change their lives. It's really a powerful system. So there it is. One simple trick to help your students write strong, powerful essays. And it all begins with the paper setup. Now, I highly recommend, there's another video called From the Paragraph to the Essay to the Research Report. And it's going to show you how to use that paper setup as a type of a bucket where the students can put all the lessons that you've taught on descriptive language, on strong vocabulary, on using a variety of sentence structures like dialogue, simile, metaphor, introductory phrases and clauses. All those different writing tricks that you're teaching, it's going to show them how to put those into the paper setup and make their well-organized paragraphs even stronger. So that video is also on the website. And if you want to get started right now, you can get How to Teach the 5-Paragraph Essay as a digital download, or you can get it as a soft cover. And remember, it's the 5-paragraph essay. You also get How to Teach the Paragraph for free as a digital download. If you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, please hit the like button. And if you know any other teachers who you think could benefit from this program, please share the video. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and go create better writers.
CreateBetterWriters.com